right. She did follow him on the no taxes on tips, so we'll have to watch this one closely. I think she's pointed to some Department of Labor regulation that happened under his administration. I think she wants to move more towards the regulatory side than he on the tax cut side. So we'll have to see. Stay tuned.
Jennifer, what we've heard so far from the Trump campaign, and then to John and yours point, copied in some extent by some of these from Kamala Harris, is it's going to be about $4 to $5 trillion in just extending the 2017 TCJA tax cut law. There's going to be ending tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, lowering the corporate tax rate to 15%. Now he's proposing no tax on overtime work, and then you have to add in what J.D. Vance is calling for, an expansion of the child tax credit plan. Out of this entire smorgasbord of cutting taxes, what actually can get done, do you think, in 2025?
Right, you're right. There is a huge amount, 4.2, some have estimated 4.5 trillion by the time we actually get to it. The negotiation over the provisions that are expiring in 2025 on TCJA, and it's going to it's going to be mostly determined by the makeup of Congress, right? So if Trump does come in and he has a Republican trifecta, meaning a majority of Republicans in the Senate, majority of Republicans in the House, that allows for the reconciliation process to happen. And that's not going to be simple when you have $4.2 trillion on the line here and a lot of aspirational promises. But if you do have divided government, whether that's Trump in the White House or Harris in the White House, it's going to be much tougher negotiations in trying to get some sort of extension past 2025.
So what is your base case as of now?
Well, I have to know what the makeup of Congress is, but I think I do know that the likelihood of the Senate is that it's going to be a Republican majority. Right. The Cook Politico report has now sort of given a lean Republican to the Montana seat. We know West Virginia is consensus is it's going to be a Republican seat. So then you have 51 right there. But these are slim margins. We'll see if Republicans can add to that in possibly Ohio, possibly Maryland, possibly up into Michigan. We'll have to see. But even if they get to 52, 53, you're talking about a really tight negotiation. And the House, whether it's Republican or Democrat, it's going to continue to be very tight margins. And getting things done in those tight margins, it's very difficult. So tax is definitely going to take up all the oxygen in the room next year.
Very difficult, especially considering right now they're still debating on whether or not they can keep the government open until the end of the year when you're looking at the makeup of Congress. When Trump comes out and talks about this, he says it's about getting blue-collar workers a break. This is something he ran on, we saw in 2016, 2020. Is it still going to land a punch this time around?
Yeah, I think this time around, what is affecting voters most and what we're seeing in the polls and what we've consistently seen over this past year in polling is that fundamentally the issue that is driving folks to the polls is the economy and how they feel in their pocketbooks, right? The tightness. And so any sort of promise for relief, I think, is what both of these candidates are trying to reach working class voters with.
I was looking yesterday at the bond auctions and the day before and the day before. It seems like markets are not taking any of these proposals seriously. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think that these are aspirational promises. So I think that's exactly what you're hitting on here, right? And this is what elections are. These are if I had my way, and we know that's not how government actually works, that there is a checks and balances. It is a negotiation with Congress. But you do have priorities of both of these candidates that they're going to go into any negotiation with. And let's face it, the leverage is with those who have the mandate. And if there is a strong win on either side, then you're going to have a mandate going into these negotiations next year.
I love how you frame it, a wish list. And I'm curious what sentiment we're getting from the wish list that goes beyond just taxes. Yesterday, the former president, Donald Trump, also posted a video to X embracing digital assets, saying we're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. He's held rallies having to do with crypto. Do you understand the focus and the wish list item of crypto in his sphere?
Well, it's been really an interesting year in this area, and there has been, legislatively, the hard work, the technocrats on the Hill have been trying to create some sort of digital asset market structure, but they have had a lot of pushback from the SEC. And so I think what Trump is trying to relay,
I think we've lost that connection.
And what he has been doing in a lot of meetings with top crypto.
Carry on, Jennifer. It just cut out just for a second. Sorry to distract you, but please carry on. It just cut out just for a split second. Forgive me. Carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially what you've seen him do is really be open to the crypto space in a way that you've seen with a number of Republicans on the Hill. They've been trying to create this market structure. They've been trying to do something on stablecoin, digital assets, DeFi, blockchain in general. And he is trying to tell these folks, hey, I'm going to be the president for you. I'm going to put in an SEC chairman who's going to allow for this space here in the United States, which really they need that regulatory framework in order to take hold.